term of heresy, zendaqa, which ereseia in Greek means to choose for oneself. A heresy is a deviation from orthodoxy. Orthodoxy is orthodoxus, is the straight, correct belief. It's aqidah sahiha. Orthopraxis is the sirat al-mustaqim. It's the straight path or practice. Islam has orthodoxy and orthopraxy. It has a sound belief, and then it has a sound practice. In order, and I mentioned this the other day because somebody asked for a clarification after the class, and I thought it would be useful to share that with other people if it wasn't clear. When I was talking about sincerity, that people can be sincere and yet be completely misguided. Sincerity is not enough. Sincerity has to have the other two components, which is, it has to be a sincerity based on orthodoxy, on sound belief, and it has to be based on orthopraxy. So somebody can be sincere in blowing themselves up. They can be mukhlis, but the action is not sound in its belief because, one, suicide is prohibited, and I don't care what, I've read these fatwas, I'm totally opposed to them. I don't even accept the khilaf position, really. That's my personal opinion. Because I've read these, and it's all emotionalism, and it's all just defeated people that, like the kamikaze, the kamikazes were at the end. The Japanese didn't send kamikaze pilots at the beginning of the war. They sent it in the last year of the war when they were completely desperate, and there was no other techniques. They used to chain these people into these things and send them out to crash into the aircraft carriers. It's a defeatist, and it's not going anywhere. That's my personal opinion. You can take it or leave it, I don't care. But that's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to say. I just don't believe it's from my religion, and it amazes me that some of the ulama have somehow sanctioned this thing. I just don't think it's been thought out of. And to be honest with you, a lot of these ulama have never studied philosophical ethics. Was a prerequisite of making moral fatwas that involve moral behavior. Suicide is prohibited in every religion. Every religion. Every major religion. Suicide, the idea of committing suicide as a kind of act of getting close to God is unbelievable. The door of corruption that opens, the door, you get desperate people that just want to commit suicide. The world's filled with people looking for a reason to kill themselves. And you open that door and suddenly you get people signing up and they're all depressed. Just read the stories about some of these people that have killed themselves. Seriously, they were just depressed people, and now you're going to tell them, oh, you're going to get close to God in doing this? So you're using their psychopathology as a means to some political end. Anyway, I could go on about it, but I think you get the picture as far as I'm concerned. And I've argued with some of the best, I've debated on this issue some of the best, minds that I know of in the Muslim Ummah. So it's not like this is something that I'll just say. I'll say it in any gathering, in any place. I don't believe it. I'll never believe it. I'll never believe it's from my religion, and I'll die believing that this idea somehow that you can go get on a bus and blow people up, and somehow this is some kind of act of qurbah to God. And I do not believe the Prophet ﷺ would have ever sanctioned, and I challenge any of them to tell me they've had a true dream where the Prophet ﷺ sanctioned that. Because I don't believe it. I do not believe he would have ever done that. And that's not about courage in the battlefield, and the Prophet was the most courageous of men. It's not even about charging into battle with the possibility of dying, because that's permissible. But to be the agent of your own demise, to actually, you're the one that kills yourself, you push the button, you're the agent, I've never seen that anywhere. Anywhere. There's a khilaf about if you're on fire, whether you can jump off a cliff or something when you know you're going to die, just to get out of the pain of the fire. The ulama gave fatwas about that. Muslims said you can't, you just have to wait till it takes your life. That's how heinous the idea of suicide is. And they use the example of the guy who got in who was shot over the fence, and never say the fact that he actually survived that battle. He survived that battle. He didn't die. He just thought there's a high probability that I will die. Well, every battle has a high probability that you're going to die, to some degree or another. Because we don't really believe in statistics. I mean, if you're that 1% that gets killed in the battle, it was 100% for you. Right? So statistics never made sense to me. I got an A in statistics at the university. I did. I think I got the highest grade in the class. But it never made sense to me, And I remember asking the teacher once, because he was saying, we get the bell curve confirmed every year with all the standardized tests. So I raised my hand. And I said, have they ever done a test of like the teachers that are 2 standard deviations off how well their students do? Do they skew the curve? Right? He said, that's a really good question. Maybe all those mediocre teachers are just producing a bunch of mediocre students. I mean, maybe if you only had exceptional teachers, suddenly everybody would be doing really well on those standardized tests. Anyway. The bell curve. The Prophet warned us about bells.